life-altering emergency is unfolding as a black man's home goes up in flames, and the fire department stands by, indifferent. As the flames spread, the homeowner, DeAndre Washington, watches in disbelief as the firefighters tasked with saving his home do nothing. The situation escalates when his quiet desperation turns into quiet confidence, revealing a secret that no one saw coming. DeAndre is the mayor. What happens next will change the course of his city forever, exposing a dangerous undercurrent of racial discrimination that is as deadly as the fire itself. DeAndre Washington's home, in a working-class neighborhood, is burning. The firefighters, led by Captain Rodriguez, have arrived. But instead of rushing to put out the fire, they stand by, making jokes and checking their phones. DeAndre, in his pajamas, pleads with them, explaining that his family photos and his wife's medical equipment are inside. The firefighters dismiss him with cruel words, treating the situation with disturbing indifference. Kesha Johnson, a neighbor across the street, begins streaming the situation live on Instagram. The viewer count grows, and the crowd of onlookers builds as the community starts to witness the blatant disregard for the life of a black man in distress. The camera captures every moment of discrimination, the firefighters' laughter, the mocking attitude of Captain Rodriguez, and emotional yet controlled response. Despite the fire engulfing his home, DeAndre maintains a steady composure. He is a man who has lived through adversity, fighting for his community's dignity and safety. Yet, even now, he stands on the verge of losing everything. As the flames reach his late mother's irreplaceable oil paintings and his wife's medical equipment, he faces a deeper injustice: the fire department's deliberate inaction. DeAndre's internal struggle is rooted in more than just his house burning. It's a fight for dignity in a system that has long ignored black lives. Does he fight back with anger, or does he rely on his power to expose the truth? As the fire continues to rage, DeAndre's desperation grows. He checks the time. 20 minutes have passed since the first truck arrived, and still, no attempt has been made to extinguish the flames. The firefighters stand idle, wasting precious moments while DeAndre's home becomes irreparable. Despite the mounting urgency, Rodriguez and his team continue to act as though nothing is wrong. They question whether DeAndre is worth saving, making it clear that they consider him unimportant, just another black man in a rundown neighborhood. Their prejudiced assumptions are compounded by their careless behavior. Kesha's live stream has now garnered thousands of viewers, and the crowd's outrage grows as they witness the discrimination. Comments flood the screen, and the hashtag Save DeAndre's single quotes sHouse begins trending. This moment becomes a digital battleground for justice, and Kesha's stream begins to serve as a powerful tool for accountability. DeAndre, sensing that the situation is spiraling, decides to take control. He makes a calm but deliberate call to the mayor's office, and the conversation, though not fully audible to the firefighters, changes the energy of the scene. The very fact that DeAndre can make such a call hints at his identity. But it's not until the arrival of Chief Patricia Hawkins that the true gravity of the situation is revealed. DeAndre's inner resolve is unwavering. His calm demeanor in the face of such gross injustice is unsettling for the firefighters. They are used to being the ones in control, the ones who decide who gets help and who does not. But now, with Chief Hawkins and the rest of the department witnessing the situation, the tide begins to turn. The fire continues to rage, but so does DeAndre's silent protest against the systemic bias that has allowed this to happen. Just as DeAndre's control reaches its breaking point, he makes an unexpected move that catches everyone off guard. He opens the compartment on the fire truck and begins to prepare the equipment himself. Rodriguez, flustered and still unaware of DeAndre's true identity, attempts to stop him, but DeAndre's presence is commanding. The firefighters stand by, paralyzed by the sudden shift in power dynamics. At that moment, DeAndre reveals his identity. He is the mayor of the city. The crowd gasps, and the live stream viewers erupt. The camera captures Rodriguez's face as the truth sinks in. His smugness, his arrogance, evaporates in an instant. The tables have turned, and DeAndre has all the authority. DeAndre's.com. Methodical dismantling of Rodriguez's actions is both personal and professional. He cites the city's emergency protocols, the laws, and the direct violation of those laws in front of the cameras, exposing Rodriguez for his prejudices. The fire department's behavior is no longer just negligence, it's a civil rights violation, one that DeAndre, with his legal background and mayoral power, can now address. The news cameras, which had been focused on the burning house, now turn to capture the breathtaking reversal. DeAndre holds up official city documents and begins to explain the financial and legal ramifications for Rodriguez and the entire fire department. He lays out the numbers, budgets, salaries, and the tax money funding this systemic inequality. This isn't just a personal conflict anymore. This is about systemic accountability. With the full weight of DeAndre's identity and authority now revealed, the situation is forced into a stark reality. Rodriguez's career is over. The evidence of discrimination is overwhelming, and the legal consequences are clear. DeAndre calls for an immediate federal investigation into the fire department's response to his emergency. The live stream viewers are now witnessing not just an individual fight for justice, but a larger movement for institutional reform. The transformation that follows is swift and unforgiving. Rodriguez is suspended, and a full review of the fire department's procedures begins. DeAndre's demands for immediate reforms are non-negotiable: mandatory bias training, community oversight, and a complete overhaul of how the fire department interacts with communities. The fire is eventually under control, but the real damage, systemic prejudice and institutional neglect, is being addressed in real time. DeAndre's leadership has exposed the flaws in the system, and with federal oversight looming, change is inevitable. DeAndre's calm strength throughout the ordeal becomes a model for others. This moment of crisis, though deeply painful, becomes the catalyst for a larger societal shift, one in which accountability is no longer optional but required. DeAndre Washington's story serves as a powerful reminder that one person's courage can ignite systemic change. Justice isn't always immediate, but it can be unstoppable when it's backed by authority, data, and a steadfast commitment to what's right. Have you ever witnessed or experienced discrimination in your community? Share your story in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation about accountability and reform. If you believe in standing up for justice, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this story to inspire others. Together, we can ensure every voice is heard and respected. The truth is out, and the system is shaking. The live-streamed confrontation has gone viral, and now the whole city knows what happened at DeAndre Washington's home. Captain Rodriguez's smug confidence has shattered. DeAndre's calculated, methodical dismantling of systemic bias has already set the wheels of reform in motion. But the question remains, can this moment of personal justice translate into lasting institutional change? The clock is ticking for those who thought they could get away with discrimination. And DeAndre's.com, but unwavering authority has only just begun to take full effect. The scene begins with a palpable shift in the atmosphere as DeAndre Washington stands calmly amidst the wreckage of his home. Now under the control of the fire department, the media and public outrage continue to escalate. His identity as the mayor of Riverside has been revealed, and now, the scrutiny of his actions along with the fire department's failures is under intense public examination. The fire has been mostly contained, but the real fire is just beginning. The battle for accountability. Chief Patricia Hawkins has already made the decision to suspend Captain Rodriguez and the firefighters involved, though she knows that their actions go beyond incompetence. The departmental response, initially dismissive, has now come under the harsh light of public accountability. With the news cameras rolling and the public watching, DeAndre's.com, but powerful demeanor continues to shine through. DeAndre takes the moment to step back from the scene. Though his house has been severely damaged, the community's response has given him a new sense of power. This is no longer just about his house. It is about righteous indignation, systemic reform, and public accountability. He knows that the real change must come from the top down, but he also knows that the process is not going to be easy. Rodriguez's defiance, the systematic bias within the department, and the passive complicity of the entire team of firefighters cannot be dismissed as an isolated incident. The public continues to demand accountability, and the pressure mounts on Chief Hawkins. The fire department is now under federal investigation, and with the hashtag #SaveDeAndre sHouse campaign continuing to gain traction, DeAndre faces both intense media scrutiny and immense public support. He has effectively turned his personal crisis into a political mandate for change. As the story continues to unfold, DeAndre receives a call from the Department of Justice. The investigation is moving forward. This is no longer just about compensation for the damage to his property. This is about federal intervention and a national reckoning with discrimination in emergency services. Federal investigators are now looking into the entire Riverside Fire Department's history of discriminatory response times and patterns of neglect. DeAndre stands firm, realizing that the city's future depends on whether they can create true reform. He knows that Rodriguez's suspension is just the beginning. The real work will involve dismantling the culture of complacency and prejudice that allowed this to happen. Accountability will have to be institutionalized at every level, and he is determined to make it happen. The fire department is ultimately forced to adopt reforms proposed by DeAndre under immense public pressure. Chief Hawkins and the Riverside City Council agreed to full transparency with emergency response times and bias training for all first responders. DeAndre's leadership, rooted in calm dignity, ensures that the systemic issues are addressed not only within the fire department, but across all city services. The Riverside Response Tracker app becomes a key tool in the ongoing effort to hold public servants accountable. DeAndre's vision for government transparency takes shape, and as he stands before the city council, the community rallies behind him. This is no longer just about him and his home. It is about every citizen in Riverside, ensuring they are treated with equality and respect. DeAndre Washington's fight for justice wasn't just a battle to save his home, it was a fight to change a system. His story proves that dignity, data, and determination can transform entire communities. Have you ever witnessed discrimination in your community? Share your experiences in the comments below and help us continue the conversation. Remember, every voice counts in the fight for equality. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of quiet strength and systemic change. Together, we can ensure that no one has to face injustice alone.